Well, ladies,
Yeah.
you're not going to believe this. Talk about being around for a while. I was with this group back when we were at Mitchell Hall.
Oh, you're kidding, really?
Oh my God!
Oh, that's great.
Really, really, really. Very interesting to be on the college campus in the theater there. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of us around now. So I'm glad you're all here anyway.
For a while.
And we move into
For a
chapel
while, yeah.
street. Yes.
Well, I joined when it was still called the Community University Players.
University Drama Group.
University Drama Group.
Yep.
And the shows that I did with them were in the Anderson's Bourne Theater in the Round. It was Anderson's Bourne and then Mitchell's Bourne, which was on the State Park. And they were wonderful because you could, if you've done theater in the round, there's no set walls, no set building. Lighting is the only challenge, and entrance and exits. And I think it was 1971, and we did Lovers and Others. No, Not Now, Darling, which was this farce comedy about confusion between people wearing. It happens in a furrier shop, and there's pretty young girls and who are not wearing anything underneath their robes. Renee was in it, and a bunch of other pretty girls. And right after when they found out that they couldn't use that, they were for the fundraiser, and it was right around that time they bought the church. And when they bought the church, relying on what passes from my memory, there was an overlap between the time that the church sold it and that the pastor and the parishioners left. And so, you do a show Friday and Saturday night. Saturday night, you had to not exactly disassemble the set, but you had to mask it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And if there was anything off, right. You try not to. And the pastor, I think he had an actual podium. I forget what, because the stage was not this wide, not this tall, and I think it was just pushed over to the side. And we had to clean it all out, and it was all church pews. And the church pews were all on the same level, and so the people in the back of the theater doing this, trying to see. But the acoustics were always decent.
Are people like Brian, like Scott, who has brought in several of us as actors, as directors. He came to see a show I did at Drama League, and came to me afterwards and said, could you please play whatever the show was at the time, and do the play here.
I was started doing shows at Chapel Street probably in the late 1980s. But then I moved to Arizona and was gone for 12, 15 years.
You were gone for a long time there.
Yeah, and then I came back, and when I came back to Chapel Street. And that's where I started up again. I
came just after you did in the late 1990s, and I actually was putting in these chairs when that we got, that we're sitting in now. But when I first, was able to audition for Lend Me a Tenor, and I got a part in that in the late 90s, and I was welcomed into the theater by people that had been here for a long, long time. And been part of it for a long time, but they didn't make me feel like an outsider. They welcomed me with open arms, and I've been involved with it almost ever since. So that's 25 years.
Yeah.
I was a new kid. I had come with my late partner to see Last of the Red Hot Lovers. I think it was early 2009, or sometime in 2009 or so, and really liked the show. And I think in the program it said auditions for Solid Gold Cadillac, and I thought, I'm a nobody. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. I haven't done theater for a little while. So I thought, what the heck? I'll go to auditions. And so I did. And Tanya Lazar took a leap of faith and cast me and my partner in that show.
He has been working steadily ever
absolutely.
since that first show.
Anytime there's a part that Walt's age permits, everybody I know wants Walt to audition.
And I didn't know anybody in that show, but that show was full of actors who had done tons of theater here at Chapel Street. But I didn't know that at the time. And I thought that too. I thought, oh gosh, I'm the new kid. They're all going to like, man, who are you? And it wasn't like that at all.
That's a wonderful play to be your introduction.
Well, it was a great experience, and just a great cast, and they were very welcoming. And as the new kid, I just felt very much accepted, and I thoroughly enjoyed the experience and stayed.
And stay, right.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
And then I got to realize, oh yeah, Kathleen Kimber and Dan Drucker and all these, Dave Hastings and you name it. These are all names that are still around in the theater. And there I was surrounded by these veterans. And but they didn't say, just so you know, I've done 14 plays here. So just so you know, they weren't like that at all. It was so refreshing to be part of the game.
Scott brought me back.
Did he?
Like I said, I went to Arizona, and then when I came back, I was working at Macy's doing the decoration for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
And I hadn't gone back to any theater. I hadn't done theater for about 12 years because I couldn't find a theater in Arizona. So
I remember talking to you about that.
Colorado I did, but Arizona I couldn't. Anyway, I was at Macy's. He came in, and he said, Susie, I can't believe you're back. How come you didn't call anybody? And I told him I was busy, and he said, well, please come visit and come down. Come audition. I said, Scott, I haven't done anything for 12 years. I said, I'll audition, but if you cast me in something, make sure it's something little, because like I said, I haven't done it. And that was for 12 Angry Jurors, and he cast me as juror 11. Gee.
I'll tell you one thing I remember. I'm not exactly remembering it, but in the early days of Chapel Street, when they were here, we had a mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and who pays the mortgage? The audience. What brings an audience in is comedy, and most of the shows were comedies. I think we ran through every Neil Simon play, and others. That's what the audience wanted. I think it was. I'm trying to remember if in all the time that I was there that I ever saw or worked with anything that could loosely be a drama. There were a few.
Is that every time you did a show here, people would just go, yeah, well, that's Neil Simon.
We did a lot of Neil Simon.
I did do one Neil Simon.
All three of us were involved with some Neil Simon.
Absolutely. How can you do
Chapel
theater
Street Players.
and not do some Neil Simon?
Well, no, it's that the shows were good, but it was like, okay, now this is community theater, it's fine. Is there any other show that we do besides Neil Simon? People started coming here because the words got around that they weren't doing Neil Simon anymore. They were doing other actual shows.
Yeah.
I noticed that from the all the postings, because since I'm on Facebook and I get all the notices all the time, there's much more drama now. I don't know, how does drama sell here?
I think it does pretty well.
Does it pretty well?
Yeah.
Is classic drama or modern drama? I don't know.
Well,
There's some like Lion and Winter did real well way back when.
They used to do a little Shakespeare from now and again. I've done Shakespeare several times in my time here. So it's a good mix, I think, of classic and modern drama.
Well, that's good. Doing drama pulls another pool of actors out.
Right. I think you need to have to draw in a diverse audience and a continuing audience, you need to branch out and, do some diversity in as far as the kind of shows you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to have a core, I think, of good moneymakers, but at the same time, if you're going to be progressive in theater, you need to do other things too, like we've done this season. We've done some, some shows that are not familiar names, but that's all part of expanding your...
and then adding the musicals helps.
Yeah, and every once in a while we'll do a musical.
So that was fun. Do you remember some of them?
I think Chapel Street has a really nice variety of shows now.
Now they do.
Yes, they do.
It's got a nice reputation now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.